Hi everybody, welcome to the Chateau de Grifferaie. That's right, I can say the name of our chateau. It's a longer video again this week, lots of stuff. I grate the yard. You go to a Brokant, some good little finds, check out some stores.
Yeah.
You make a great juice.
Yes, true.
Lemon
It was a very nice, normal, just us at home, get some stuff done week.
Although,
it was great.
For me, a lot of this with like August and stuff, like not working and car accident, like there's a lot of different things. So enjoy the video and we'll see you at the end. Well, this is very nice. We have made a friend from church who is going to come over and help us with our French. And Leslie and her are having coffee, and she said she had a piece of furniture she'd like to bring to the chateau. Isn't that lovely? Isn't that nice? It's a corner piece. So we'll find a nice spot for that. And that'll be a nice little addition. And it's fun, by the way, just to have somebody else's story intersect with your story. A new home for this piece. Okay, so this is super fun. I just got the tractor out. We're gonna go level this. We're gonna clear all the weeds out of the square. I'm gonna put a time lapse on, so hopefully you can enjoy it. And I went over to the stables to get the box scraper, and then I realized, wow, we got these like two monster stump piles that we burned out recently, but they're still big, huge piles. And then we had a kind of a depression next to it, and I'm like, hey, wait, I could fix this. And so 10 very fun minutes of moving dirt around like every boy's childhood dream. I'm telling you, every male should own a tractor. It's just like so fun. Okay, I just was in town at Aldi and doing a little shopping. Let's play a game. I call this game, what is Leslie going to be most excited about? Okay, so let's see how well you know Leslie. So I got some semi-fresh pasta for $1 something to cook. That'll be fun. I got some salsa. I have a K Archer little, I saw this on sale for $30. It's like about 1 foot long, 10 inches, something like that. It's a squeegee with a vacuum to take water off the windows, and a dozen, just a little under a dozen flowers for $2.99. Which one do you think Leslie's gonna like most? We'll see what she answers. I woke up this morning, this early August morning, and beautiful temperature, and decided to come have my coffee out on the back terrace. And there'll be work today like there is every day, but man, what a gratifying evening last night, and what a gratifying bunch of messages to wake up to. We opened our registrations for spring, our spring session, and I was talking to some students, and I was talking to some parents, and the parents were so excited for the students, and the students were trying to get the application in like right away, even though it's not first come, first serve, and it's 9 months till we start. But just the joy that they were feeling, and to know that what we're doing is kind of a small part of that. We had a couple spots open up for fall this year. We had some kids get into car accidents, very, very sad, and so they're going to come later. And so we had to replace the spots. We'd been full for almost a year, which is crazy. And so I called. I wrote a student yesterday that had been on a wait list and waiting. And earlier I told him, boy, it looks like it's not going to happen this year. Really sorry. And told her that a spot had opened up, and she wrote back right away, hey, I'd love to come. And then I got a nice email from her parent, who we had known many years ago, saying that she was so happy. She was like on the verge of tears, like crying. She was so happy, trying to figure out what she was going to do next year. And that is just exactly what we're trying to do, especially for young people, all young people we care about. But especially ones that they're just coming out of high school, and they're trying to, they're figuring out what to do and what to make of the world, and they want to, just sort some things out and see their world, and that is exactly what we're excited about. It went quick, and it went well. And the robot mower keeps plugging away. I think I'm getting better at this. Like any job, you improve the more you do it, and I'm starting to get the corners a bit more square by using the front blade to back up. I don't know how this is going to look on video, but man, it feels like a lot of fun in the sand right now. It's kind of fun to walk on. It feels like a beach, but a hard beach. What have we here? Delivery?
Delivery.
Livraison?
Wait.
What do you get?
Some paint. It's a UK company called Little Green.
And you like it?
A lot of people use it here. I haven't tried it before. But there's a couple colors. As we keep working on windows, I need to get like a base color that we always use for the outside, and I just haven't had one yet. So anyway, I'm trying.
This is your try?
So I started with that one. I haven't loved it.
Too mild?
Good. It was fine. I'm just not sure I'm feeling the green.
And this one, let's see you paint, if I may.
So this one's the darkest of all of them. I haven't looked yet, so I can't know
your feelings.
I can't know my feelings, yeah. So.
But we don't want to rush her. She's an artist. That's true.
I know. Oh dear. So we'll wait and see. I want it to be subtle, but I want it to have a look with the house.
Okay, so you're still thinking about it.
Indeed. I'm liking it so far. I think it's a yes. But I haven't tried. I have 2 other colors. We'll see. It looks dark on camera. It's not actually that dark. Can I just first say, is that not cool? Like, this building is just beautiful. Anyway, it does fall apart easily, but it's beautiful. Anyway, so last year I painted out the front door because it was just so ratty. It was kind of gross. But there are 2 other doors on the front, as well as 2 on each end. However, so I tried this one color from Fair and Ball called Mizzle, which is a weird word, but anyway, kind of like drizzle, but it's green. It's a very, very soft green. It's very pretty, but, and it looks really nice with the stone, but I'm just not feeling it. I have lived with it for this last year. I thought I'd get used to it, and then I was going to do the other 2 doors come summer, which is now. I don't know if I love it. So we have 2 more, well, 3 more that I just ordered and we just got, and we're going to give it a go. Okay, so we have 2 other doors on this elevation. We have 1, 2, 3, 1 painted, almost, and then 1 on each end, as I said before. So the green, like, it's nice. You can't really tell very much on camera. So I thought, let's go with some earth tones. Putties, you know, greiges, because it's very sandy colored stone. And I thought that might be nice accent without being too loud. Now on camera, both of these colors look very strong. They're not. One has more green, which I do like. The other one is a little cooler, almost like what this looks like when it's dirty, which apparently we can clean. But I have 1 lighter one yet. Now I have to say, this is a Little Green company. These little paint pots they just sent me, they're glass. They're so great. I'm going to use them even when they're empty, and we'll have little sample pots for touch-ups, but very cute. So I'm going to put on this one and see how it looks compared to the other 2. Now I'm a neutrals girl, and these are all neutrals, and I didn't expect to like this lightest color here. I'm going to put it over here. But again, yes, it's glass. It's very cool. And they gave me this handy dandy little brush. Like, that's awfully nice. I'm a Benjamin Moore fan through and through, but there's only 1 here and it's in Paris. So I'm trying to adapt and learn some other paint companies to be able to find some colors that I like, which has been difficult because I know the paint palette of Benjamin Moore inside out and backwards. But anyway, okay, I wasn't expecting to like this lightest one, but I totally do. Again, it is much warmer in real life than on video right now. It looks very chilly, but we're gonna back up, and because that's what you do when you have a paint color. It has to be on the same surface you're actually going to be painting. And interesting, on some of the old postcards, some of the mullions and everything on the windows were dark. Like, you can tell they were like dark, which I've kind of been curious about, because these are white and I don't really love the white with a cream house, even though I like light white and cream. But you know, I'm kind of liking the light one. Oh dear, didn't expect that. I might have to do a door in it and see how we feel next to everything else, and maybe we do one of the panels in a darker. I don't know. Dilemmas. Again, these read much warmer in person, so I'm sorry that this is completely throwing you off, but anyway, we'll wait and see. Okay, and because I'm not going to waste any bit of this paint on this brush, we're going to try it on the sunny side of the house and just see how it holds up in this color. And you can see the doors are in desperate shape, so they are in need of a lick of paint, no question. All right, can you see it? I like it. Again, much lighter in person than it's showing on the camera, but I think that might be good. And that's the latest one. Shocking. Thought it would be too light and boring. But subtle, I do enjoy.
Now, conventional wisdom, and by that I also mean my wife, would suggest that you probably don't want to see the ins and outs of toilet installation on this video channel. So I won't go long, but I will just say a couple things. Really, it's really a shame to take this out, and perhaps some of you are thinking, why don't you just get a different base that connects to the water up there? And that's sort of true, but the problem is that we've had all kinds, like it's just kind of an ongoing problem. Like a lot of times it won't close, so then the water runs all night and we're losing all kinds of water. Sometimes we've had a little bit of spillage. We've certainly had spillage from the pipe, and man, it's just a lot of potential energy up there. And so I think we're just gonna go conventional. Now, we're going to leave this pipe, I think. I'm gonna cut it off and we're gonna put a new junction into the toilet, but we will leave the rest of it running up just in case we wanna change our mind someday and go back to using it. And we'll leave all of this guy up there. We'll probably paint this black or make it smaller so it looks a little better. But we'll leave it all up there, cut it off at the toilet, and it's just for show. And then I was trying to figure out how to do this. Now, this is a little different. Most of the toilets in the Chateau go sideways. They go sideways and then down. And so this one goes straight down, but it's the rubber gasket is below, below the floorboards, which is unusual. Most of the toilets nowadays have ones that are higher. Well, that's interesting. So I think this is our solution. We're just gonna get a saw and we'll cut this off and we'll stick this guy inside that guy. Then this one will stick up and it'll go straight in there. Should be no leaks. And not actually as hard as I thought it was gonna be. The glamorous life of the Chateau owner. We don't need to do this. You know, we're probably not gonna, we'll keep this somewhere in a shed somewhere, this toilet. But, you know, it's probably already clean. But let's just run a bunch of water through it because I have to carry it through the house. And if water starts splashing around, I'd prefer it to be clean water. My 10th or 11th toilet in this house, so it's getting faster. And that went in really nice. Really nice to go into wood again. Just zip, zip. Real easy. I still have to hook it up to the pipe, but we're pretty much done. This is going well. We got her all cut, the pipe all cut. And then we got this little guy. We're just gonna go with a simple shark bite because this is easily turned off. There's not a lot of pressure. And we'll pop that on, and then I got a nice little angle piece on the end, which will go right there. And we're in business.
The best thing about herbs is that they just smell so amazing. With the thyme and the mint, just as soon as you rub against it, it smells fantastic. And then this guy here is a lemon verbena. And we have a really good friend of ours who will take lemon verbena and steep it in a simple syrup, and then you add it to water in the summer, and you have this beautiful little infused water that tastes fantastic, very lemony. It's beautiful, much better than drinking pop in the summer, and it smells fantastic. I almost should grab a little mint and throw some of that into. I think that would be great also. This little guy here is a new one, and he is also a lemon balm, which I bet would smell great in there as well. These guys are new, and I have to get them potted up, but here we go. So I just took the leaves that I grabbed, the tops of, and we're just making a little lemon verbena simple syrup. And I don't know how much I grabbed. Maybe a quarter cup, maybe more than that. I don't know. I just grabbed the tops of them. Equal parts water and sugar. And we're gonna let this boil. And then it's gonna steep for like 30 minutes until it smells like lemon verbena goodness. And then it's kind of like a concentrate that you would add into your water. And it's a great substitute instead of drinking pop. And that is much healthier for you. And it's fresh and it tastes fantastic. Someone's very excited about this. You ready? Someone is very happy. Oh, not in the water bang. You want a drink? Let's stay focused. We don't need to be wet before bed. So this is one of the new roses that we planted. It's actually coming along beautifully. And I'm gonna turn this water off. Crazy pants here. And I'll show you how deep of a red they are. These ones are already starting to go. But look at that. Isn't that a beauty? Let's look at this guy. Yeah, they're very nice. They're less neon than the existing ones that were here. So they probably aren't quite as, you know, brilliant. Personally, I like them better than some of our crazy. You can kind of see up there. Maybe you can't see. There's one way up, up there. But, oh, weird. What is that? It looks like a balloon. Do you see that way down there? Let's go look. We've got a whole line of those new hydrangea that we planted in April, I think. And they're coming from the base, which is really great, instead of just the top parts. And they're doing well, but it's going to be hot this week. It's been cool, so they've been happy. So I figured it's going to have to be a much more regular watering circuit for us, because we're all the way along here. And I want to keep them growing so that they're happy.
Interesting day. We have Enidus. If you've been following the channel, you know we've had about a 5-year struggle to try to switch over to residential power for this big building for the electricity. And so we had them coming a couple months ago. They said, yeah, we'll come in July. And then the guy got here and it didn't work out. And then he said, okay, we'll come August 1st. Well, it's August 1st today. And when they said August 1st, I went, because in August, everything shuts down here in France. And so sure enough, a few days ago, we had a call from the guy saying, yeah, I wonder if we can do it a different day. And my guess is he just wants to start his holidays early. Unfortunately, it was in French and it was a message. So we tried to get back to him, but we weren't able to get back to him. So we don't know if he's going to come today or not. Probably he's not going to come today. We have made over 100 calls to Enidus and to EDF and to try to switch over. And it's taken 5 years and we're right close to the end. So, you know, it's a lesson in patience and endurance. When you're in a different country, things are difficult and you have to be patient. We'll see if someone comes today. Look, friends. I saw movement. I was mowing and I saw a little bit of movement. And then look what we have here. Look. It's a bunny or is it a little deer? No, it can't be a deer. It has to be a bunny. Is it a bunny? I don't know. Very small. It's okay. You're safe with me, little one. Well, it's mid-morning, and it looks like we got another no-show from an Enidus. It's a little disappointing. I actually had nightmares all night. The guy showed up in my nightmare, and we had a whole, program was running, and the students were all here, and I had to do all these things. And the guy was coming. He's like, he didn't want to hook up the power. He wanted to install a toilet, and so everybody was really frustrated with him, and I was trying to explain to him that we actually need power. We don't need the toilet. And then I woke up. So looks like we'll have another night of nightmares as we wait again, and hopefully they'll call and reschedule again. 100, we're probably getting close to 105 times we've called now. And
well, we get a break today from painting and cleaning and everything. I met with our great friend from church who's helping me out with French, which is really good. It just makes your brain work really hard to try to put things together so you can have a conversation. But it's good. The more I do it, the more it'll come faster. So I just finished at our closest little action store over there, one of our small towns. I'm gonna get my hair cut today. Yay. It's just crazy long. We're gonna go, maybe if we have time, to go to the Brokant. So I'll take you along with. One of my favorite places, the Brokant and the basket section. This guy, very nice in general. I have one of those for my potatoes and onions. This guy though looks great, and he's only $5. Can you believe that people actually take these to the grocery store, and that's how they shop with their groceries? Is that not cute? But they actually do that. I'm not making it up. Little ladies will literally take a basket just like this and use it for groceries because they shop every day. Amazing. It looks so cute. But there's definitely a few things in here that I think I'll snag. And then of course the pottery section. I'm looking for a little pitcher. You know, often we'll serve like gravy or things like that, side sauce and stuff. And so I'm always kind of looking for something that isn't porcelain, that can break and crack, which sometimes we've had trouble with. That might work. Sorry, I'm looking as we're talking. He's cute too. So there's a lot of jugs. It's just finding one without a spout that's broken or chipped, and one that looks like it can hold gravy. Like that guy's cute, but he's a weird shape and not quite big enough actually. I'm always tempted by these. They're small little containers to hold flour and sugar. And they're all different kinds, pepper, salt, spices, but they're just all so tiny. And I go, who exactly is using only that much flour? And much to our joy, there's no shortage of china everywhere. And some of it, you don't always know what it is. Like, for example, this stuff's cool. It's like pottery. And it has this really interesting platter in the back. And then this, I have no idea. And a little spot on the plate. It doesn't have oh, it does actually have something on there. Interesting. I'm not exactly sure, but it looks made for something very specific. And then, of course, you have fancy stuff, and always fun to look through and see what kind of interesting bits and pieces you can find. Well, no small beds for sale today. Of course, we're usually looking for twins. A few mirrors, a few metal ones. These are quite lovely. Oh, that one might be actually brass, actually, this guy. That's quite nice. As we think ahead towards the upstairs, I may need more beds. So I thought I'd start looking, because you don't know. Anybody need something for a Disney movie? No? Oh dear. Anyways, there's some good deals on armoire. If anybody needs any here in France, there are some sales going on with some nice big armoires. But sadly, I do not need one right now. However, I did find a bench that I'm going to go measure, maybe for basement table. But I can't believe I forgot mine, so I'm going to have to go snag one. This guy's pretty great too, eh? But not for 80. But it's fun. When you have big walls like ours, I just like these little tapestries. I think they're cute. Now, one thing, we have plenty of our grandfather clocks here. This one's actually quite a nice one, and it looks like it might actually work. But he's not very tall, considering we could take a tall one, but he's cool. Anyway, I was going to show you. I found this great bench that I thought might work under the table in the kitchen, but it's just a little bit too long. I'm looking for a 140 or less, and this one's like 150, so bummer. It's great though. Up here in the attic, it's very warm up here, but there's a plethora of chairs, which I always come up and hope to find some interesting little soul that needs rescued. And I did find a cute little set, but it really needs reupholstered, and we don't have budget for that right now. But aren't those two chairs and the little settee cute? Ugh, good bones. I like the fabric, although, again, it needs reupholstered. And I'm not sure I have the time for that right now, although the arms would be easy. But, you know, it's not necessary, but it's cute. I found bigger ones. This one isn't as tall as that guy, but check out the pendulum. Isn't that beautiful? Let's see if I can get the shadow. Like, how beautiful is that? Yeah, super, super pretty. I don't know if he works, but he's good looking. And I always do one little look-see through all of the hats, because you never know when you're going to see some. There is some cool top hats, because it's sometimes fun at the Chateau to have funny hats, but I'm always sort of looking for something fancy for them to dress up in, but I don't see a ton of fancy. Not this time. Sailor hats, but that's not what we're going for.
Okay, friends, midway through the week, and I'm out at the solar panels. What an emotional week it has been. Ups and downs. People closed for August. I'll talk about that more later. But anyways, I got some time today, and I finally got a hair appointment. I know, the trials of life. Anyways, and so I have a couple minutes, so I thought, let's go trench these solar panels in. Now we've got wires, and they've just been kind of sitting on the grass to this point, but now I got the shovels out, and I'm digging holes. And we want to run this underground so that a mower doesn't hit it or something like that. And so we're going to have to cut, I think, 5 different little trenches to get it all from here to here. Now, it was interesting. The last couple times I went into this box, I noticed that I kept getting stung by wasps, which was a little bit annoying. It wasn't just like one sting usually, but still enough to hurt. So I'm kind of like, man, there's got to be wasps around somewhere. And so I was looking around. I thought, I'm just going to open it and leave it open for a bit. I didn't see any wasps flying. And then I finally found them. There they are. Looks like they're dead, but nonetheless, we'll. I was trying to figure out how we get a wasp nest out of a circuit breaker, because you don't really want to be spraying like fluids in there and start an explosion or a fire or something like that. So, anyways, we'll get that out of there and hopefully no longer be stung by wasps. And this is some good news. Remember, we've got Botsworth, our nth bot robot mower, which we've been very happy with, by the way. Leslie has noticed that I'm out mowing a lot less because, of course, we did this whole back area. I guess it's probably about an acre of. It says it only does less than an acre, but it feels like it's doing more to me. We have it working pretty hard. Most 6 days of the week, we give it Sunday off. All of us should take a day off on Sunday. But yeah, no, it's doing great. In fact, so much so that I wrote them and said, hey, I don't know if you ever wanted to give him a little sibling, but we would definitely take one for the front. And they said they're developing new models, and they'll, you know, when they develop a new model, they said we're at the top of the list. They'll send us another one, which is exciting, because I was thinking about it. I was thinking, you know, 3 or 4 of these would probably do it. One for the back, one for the front, one for this side, and then one for the way back behind the pool. Like over by the oaks there, that whole back area. And we got power outlets for all of them. So very exciting. And real talk, we actually got another email from another robot mower company saying, hey, you want to try our mower out? And I said, you know, honestly, we would, because again, we could use 3 or 4, so we might do one of those in a couple of weeks too. I'm excited. All the trenches are dug, and the conduit, the orange conduit, is already in place. Some of them buried already. Now we can't unplug the wires and run them through until nightfall, because of course there's power surging through these devices, and there's power in this device. We can turn that device off, but we have to wait till the power stops hitting this. So we'll wait for dark, then we'll unplug these guys, run the cables, then bury them tonight. And tomorrow we should get the weed whipper up and clean it up. I figure I'm still working, the robot may as well keep working. Funny's got a light when it starts to get a little bit dark, so that his little camera can see what's going on. We've also got him handling this hill, because it's kind of hard with the big mower. But it's a lot easier for him to go up and down, it seems. Yeah, it's a nice little hill. All right, 11 p.m. We got it all buried. Again, we had to do it when it was dark, because we didn't want it to get electrocuted. So a little bit later for the day, but we're done. Everything buried, looking good. But they're all washed off. The grass is trimmed. The cables are buried. So we can just mow right through there, which is nice. And We also bolted the inverters on, which is good for security, harder to steal, and also it's good for them not to be flopping around so the cords get wrecked or anything. So yeah, good progress. Good progress. Tempting to add more solar panels. They're so good.
So for home hardware kind of stores, they really love the store Brico, which I suppose makes sense. There's Brico Depot, there's Brico Marché, there's Bricolage, you name it, there's a Brico something. And they all mean about the same thing. They're home hardware-y, kind of Home Depot kind of places. A little smaller than Home Depot, a little bigger than a Ace Hardware. But this one's quite large and brand new, so it's cool. I'm gonna go check it out. I haven't been in there yet in case sometimes there's things you can get at different Brico places. So let's go see what they got. Okay, first observation. This one's called Home. This one's called Garden. Fun. All right, first off, these are quite nice. And they're 30% off. I think they're $3 or €3 each. Heavy. They look great. If only I didn't always need a million of them. Those are very nice. Lots of interesting things. I don't think I see anything else, but those are quite nice. I've been on Amazon looking for a light for over the back door where the kitchen is, because there's just this wire sticking out looking bad, and I would really like to have a light that would come on when you go there in the dark, because it's very dark at our house. Yeah, I don't really see a lot here. Just there's that little weeny one, 32, I suppose, that looks Chateau-esque. Ugh. Okay, well, I didn't see any wonderful finds, unfortunately. You just don't know, though. Even at home in America, I would go looking in little hardware places because you just don't know what you're going to see. Sometimes there's cool mixing bowls, or I don't know. There's just interesting things that are randomly in some of these stores that you can't find in other places. So we're going to go check out the garden store and see if we see anything cool. You never know. So sadly, nothing out of the ordinary. They do, however, have Royal Canine, or Canin, which is good. Because sometimes this is what Mr. Bingley eats. And they do have the Cavalier King Charles. It's always good. Did you know that usually dog food is sold at garden centers, which is kind of odd, but true. And here is no different. There's a little tiny spattering of some houseplants, and that's about it. So, really good deal on the ferns, but I don't need more. I already have 2. And they look great. And they're happy in here for sure. And some cool bigger trees, but I'm just a little nervous about that when we go home and then no one looks after them. So we're still gonna wait on that. But happy gardening, everyone. It's a beautiful day in one of our little towns. And this is just a random little town with the beautiful baskets and palm trees and cupolas on churches. And in a minute, I'll show you something else. End of the road, you have this beautiful building without the blinking truck, unfortunately, that now has shown up. Isn't that beautiful down there? Can you see? So lovely. And this is just Little Town Square of a very small town. But we're gonna go to the bank.
It has been a fascinating week and a fascinating month. It's August here in France. And I think I already kind of alluded in the video to the fact that it's been kind of up and down a little, at least for me, really kind of an emotional week. There's been frustrating times because everything shuts down. I was writing on my Facebook, and I was having maybe a bit of a pity party where I was writing. We went to church on Sunday, and they had a really good sermon on repose and rest and vacance. And I was just sitting there thinking, pas repose pour nous, pas vacance pour nous, like no vacation for us, no. And it's interesting because every culture has kind of days you take off. Like in America, you get a wonderful 4-day Thanksgiving break, and that was great when we were there. And then the 4th of July, Canada, you got Canada Day, and you got 2 days off for Easter and for Christmas. France has 5 bank holidays in May sometimes, and a lot of people take August off. And so it's in some ways it's great. It's a great pace of life unless you're not living it, which I guess we're not. So we're sort of in between cultures. So we find that we end up working on the 4th of July. We work Thanksgiving and we work Easter and we work August. And so I was having a bit of a pity party for myself. We have no one to blame but ourselves, right? And maybe the Chateau a little bit, because the Chateau is, as I've said before, like a small child that always needs attention. But it's difficult to balance yourself. And I guess we've been only partly successful with that. So the other day, this kind of came to a point for me. The other day I went in and drove into town and I was trying to get 6 things done, and 4 of them were failures because everything was closed. When I can't remember all of them, went in to get some parts or some tiles, and they're like, no, we can't do that. Went to get my hair cut, and they sort of laughed at me the first time. They're kind of like, no, it's like nobody's working. We can't, you're gonna have to make an appointment. And then of course we had a bit of an accident with the car. We were driving, and there's these huge speed bumps they just installed, and they're ruthless. Like they're to protect the bike lane, but we ended up hitting him, and it blew 2 tires, and so the car is sitting on the side of the road, and it has been for more than a week. And the guy said 2 days we'll have the tires, but then the person that was supposed to fix the wheel is maybe on vacation or not working so much, and so it's been getting close to 10 days now, and the car's just sitting on the side of the road. We're hoping it doesn't get towed. So all that to say, it's kind of frustrating, and partly I think we just need to go with the culture and embrace it and take some time off. But then also partly you have to have perspective. Like, when you try to undertake something really cool like this, it does take effort, and it's hard. And it was kind of funny. I was watching TV a couple minutes ago, and I saw a video of some guys that are trying to, they bought like a missile silo in the States, and they're trying to renovate that. And the amount of work they have is insane. Like, it's insane. It puts this to shame. And it was actually good for me to watch it. I'm like, wow, it could be a lot worse. Like, we have a beautiful building to start with. Yeah, there's things to do. It's a big yard, it's a big garden, a big park. There's trees that need to be cut. There's grass and all of those things. But man, this is nothing like a missile silo where they're cutting out, millions of dollars of metal and mud and dirt and rust and woo. So where am I going with this? I guess all this to say, perspective is important, as is self-regulation. And so hopefully Leslie and I will come to a place where we can regulate ourselves so that it's not just work all the time, because you don't want your life to be just work. I know I talk about it a lot because it keeps coming up at this place, but it's been an up and down week, and I guess you take it as it comes. This lovely lady, a couple days ahead of our 35th anniversary, and we're having we're trying a new restaurant in La Flèche, and it's Indian, and it's really well rated, and it looks good so far. This is appetizer.
Called?
I can't remember what it was called.
Onion
something, yeah.
or something.
Mm-hmm. This is great. The naan came out. That's garlic naan. Mm-hmm. We've got cheese naan.
It's hot.
Butter chicken, rice, and I got chicken curry, and then our sauces. Should be really fun. And one dessert came with the menu. By the way, the menu I think was 15 euro for all this food. Yum, yum, yum. Guys, thanks for watching the video. Now, if you've hung out all the way to the end, now you might be wondering what the answer was to my question. Remember, we went shopping for Leslie, and I showed 4 things. There was one thing you really don't like.
Salsa.
Salsa, not a salsa girl. And then of the 3, was there a favorite?
I said all, because you can enjoy all 3 things all at the same time.
I think probably it would have been the vacuum.
Yeah, I wasn't happy about that.
She's been talking about that forever.
Yeah, for a few years, because in a few months from now, the windows are all going to be wet and drippy, and I'm going to be wiping them all off, and I'm going to be like, hey, we should get one of those things.
Yeah. Hey, this is good news for next week, too. We have something coming which will allow us to finalize something.
Yes, that's exciting. We also have Amy and Isaac coming, which is also exciting.
That's exciting. I was also thinking of the bathroom vanity.
Well, me too.
Which has been waiting for 4 months.
More than that, isn't it? Like March or something? But
we'll get Amy on the video, maybe Isaac too. We'll see. She always enjoys that, and maybe you enjoy her too.
I don't believe the vanity until I see it.
Yeah, it's supposed to come on Tuesday. So we may have our master bathroom video. Finally, we can maybe put it up next week. We'll see. Thanks for coming along. We'll see you next week.